One of my biggest pet peeves is when a book covers a long period of time but doesn't handle that long period of time very well. A lot of times books will just kind of jump ahead and tell you important things that happened that they didn't show you on page and then just keep going with the story. It drives me insane. We're not going to talk about those books though. We are going to talk about some books that cover long periods of time and do it very, very well. First, The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. This takes place over centuries, and I felt like I lived all of those centuries with Addie. I did not feel like it was just jumping too far ahead or anything like that. I felt like I was at all times caught up with what was going on. We also have multiple timelines. One of my all-time favorite books. Also by V.E. Schwab, Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil. This is another one that takes place over centuries, and the way that the time gaps and just the course of this story and these characters and their relationships are handled is beautiful. It is perfectly done. You cannot change my mind on that. It is so well handled. So V.E. Schwab, just a master of this. The Grace of Kings. I very recently read this. It takes place over quite a few years, and there are quite a few times where it does jump ahead some, but I didn't feel like I missed anything when it did that. It is also one of the most uniquely written books I have ever read. It is basically a book of world building, but it is so good. And even though it takes place over all of these years, there's something about the way that it is written where I just always felt like I was caught up with what was going on. And the absolute epitome of books covering extended periods of time absolutely perfectly, The Greenbone Saga. This covers these characters' basically entire lives. It covers an entire generation, and it is somehow packed into, I realize these are chunky, but not that many books to cover an entire family's entire generation's story. So well done. When it pulls ahead and skips ahead, it doesn't feel like you missed anything. You still feel like you were there with them. I feel like I could live in this world and I would know everything about these people because of the time I spent with them in these books, even though their entire lives are only captured in 3 books. Incredible. Just Fonda Lee is a master at this. I love this series. I will never stop talking about how much I love this series.